Hello and welcome to the Eastern Idaho Planning Briefing for Tuesday, August 11th. Here's a summary of what you'll see in this presentation. A dry cold front will bring critical fire weather pattern to southern Idaho today. And then that is why we have a red flag warning issued, because we do expect winds to be gusting in excess of 30 miles an hour and relative humidities by the mid to late afternoon and into the early evening of below 15%. We are expecting seasonable temperatures. We don't see a large cool down or any sort of strong warming, at least in the next week. And then continued breezy conditions from the Shoshone area to the Arco and INL property each afternoon and evening through probably at least Saturday. And along with some occasional low humidity, this may continue the threat of poor fire conditions, that is, dangerous fire conditions for this area. So let's take a look at what will be happening here. Here's the current satellite. You can see some of the cloudiness that is associated with this front is up here in Canada and Montana. And they've actually had some pretty good thunderstorm activity overnight. However, most of the moisture will not make it over the Continental Divide, and we will see, for the most part, not really until late this afternoon, some clouds starting to build in, and for the most part, they won't mean a whole lot. Most of the thunderstorm activity should wait until the evening hours. So here's what we're looking for. Wind and humidity will be an issue, and that is why it is in red for the red flag warning in the Snake Plain and in the Magic Valley and in the Lost River area and in Lemhi County. And that would all be basically east of any divides in those regions, because that's where most of the winds and the low humidity will be. And that would be more or less on the eastern side, or I guess you could say the southeast side of the Lost River area and Lemhi County. On Wednesday, it should die down with the exception of the Snake Plain, where while the humidity will be up, there'll still be large areas where the afternoon relative humidity will get below 15%, and the winds will persist. And we are expecting and actually have out a fire weather watch for that area. Another place to look out for is the Southeast Highlands area. That would be areas south that are both south and east of Pocatello. We do have that area where the risk of thunderstorms starts to exceed 25%. That would also mean some sort of red flag warning for that area. However, right now the area is pretty small that it comes out in that condition. And so while the thunderstorms will definitely be there, the question whether or not they're isolated versus scattered is still a subject of contention, and we'll be monitoring that very closely and probably talking with our fire agencies about whether a red flag warning is needed for that area if we do expect the thunderstorm coverage to be 25% or greater. See, it sort of all dies down a little bit on Thursday, and on Friday we start to warm again. Humidities will start to fall again. The wind will still be here, and so we are looking for troubles mostly in the Snake River Plain and in the eastern Magic Valley. That will continue very likely into Saturday as the wind remains gusty. Whether or not it's gusty anywhere else, though, is still a matter to look for, and we aren't expecting the humidity in the higher elevations to really start to get below 15%. But all of this needs to be watched. It'll be really close, even if it doesn't reach that criteria. And so this needs to be monitored by anyone who has fire concerns in southeast Idaho. Okay, let's take a look at some individual parameters here that we forecast for. So we'll start out with temperature, what we're looking for today. Highs getting back to near 90. That won't last long. By Wednesday, you can see it's dropping 4 to 6 degrees. And even some more here on Thursday. And then Friday, we start to make the curve back up. And by Saturday, you can see some places exceeding 90 degrees now, especially southwest of American Falls. The other thing to watch out for again is the threat for Wednesday afternoon. You can see these areas in orange are areas where the thunderstorm coverage starts to go to near 25%. And so this is where most of the concern is. Again, areas south and east of Pocatello, this little corner of the state is where it's most at risk. Okay, for minimum relative humidity, which is what we actually look at for these red flag warnings, not so much temperature, but you can see some fairly large areas over the Arco Desert all the way down to Shoshone, craters of the moon, where the humidity is below 10%, never mind the 15%, which is this next darker color. You can see that reaches a wide area. So wherever we have the breezes, which we'll be taking a look at, we'll look at that in terms of gusts, with gusts exceeding 30 miles an hour in the Snake River Plain or 25 miles an hour in the mountains. So here you can see it's, again, a lot of it is back above 15%, but there's still areas that go from the single digits just back to still below 15%. And you see Thursday it starts to dry out again, and then Friday very dry. Here's what the winds are doing. Anything really that's in yellow is exceeding our red flag conditions. So wherever this overlaps with very dry humidity in the afternoons and evenings, we are at risk for, the fire danger is rather high. That would be looking at large spread rates possible if one gets started, and high intensity. You can see here Wednesday evening, even windier than this evening. Thursday, again, continuing to be breezy to windy. This is borderline windy here with gusts to near 40 miles an hour on Thursday night. That's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at the telephone number here or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.